It is your boy, Kevin Yee, the Farm D. What's up? It's my Sunday stream, and today I'm doing things a little different. I'm actually on my mobile phone right now. My mobile phone, who says that? Anyways, for y'all that know, my name is Kevin Yee, the refugee, aka Kevin Yee, the Farm D. I go over a lot of life tips, everyday life advice, and obviously pharmacy advice since I am the mother pharmacist. And I just decided to switch it up because recently I've been experimenting with Instagram Live, and I've been going live on Instagram every single day. But I know I have a lot of people, some OG people on my YouTube stream. Let's see, we already got a comment. What up? How you been? Says Joshan. Dude, been pretty good actually. Today, we got Gordon Yu in this building. Honestly, I've been pretty good, well for the most part. Honestly, today was kind of really boring for me. Just because I had to do something mother boring growing up stuff like doing my taxes. Oh my god, I feel like when I start making more money, or if I make more money through my business, then definitely I will hire a CPA because I freaking hate doing taxes. It's like one full day out of your thing. So, but I guess it's kind of like my fault for doing it last minute too. Whatever. Madit, what is up? Man, yeah, man, but it's so crazy right now. I'm getting also hit up from a lot of job interviews and stuff. People are trying to schedule interviews with me, which is cool, like I'm always down for like just to talk about different things, opportunities in pharmacy, but none of them have really jumped out at me, where I'm just like, I really, really, really want to do it, or it's like I have to take it, nothing's felt like that so far. But I think it's important in life just to always be just very open with your selections, and worst case scenario, you can always say no. And yeah, man, it's pretty good. Even today, dude, I didn't even realize today's Easter, and I'm not Christian or anything. I don't celebrate it, but yeah, man, it's just like I just feel like there's like this whole world outside of me that sometimes I just don't realize, because when you're not working a corporate job, you kind of forget like some of those things. I'm preparing for 2 fellowship interviews this week. How do you prepare for your interviews? That's a good question. So for me, a lot of interviews, they're not so much about skill based for me, like the interviews I'm going on, but like it's mostly personality. I think if you have a likable personality, a positive attitude, most people really, really admire that and they want that, because you can't teach that. Love your poster in the background. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for liking my poster. But yeah, I always prepare different stories because I feel like so I have something called a story toolbox, where I have different stories. Maybe I'll have a story of a time where I really demonstrated leadership, or have another story of like a time I struggled, because they always ask that. Because it's one thing that you can say like, yeah, I'm a great leader, but when they call you bullshit and they're just like, tell me a time when, then you have an interesting story. And my stories are never, I think YouTube helps me with this a lot of time, but I try not to tell boring, dry stories. I try to tell stories that everybody relates to, So I think storytelling is a huge part of how I approach interviews. I think part of it too, obviously try to do as much research as you want, you know what I mean? But I feel like sometimes I just feel like people go in, hey, Sutton, what's up? I feel like sometimes people go into the interview with a mindset that they have to look their best, but it's also a vetting process for them too. If you think about it, there's always an abundance of opportunities in life. And so you want to make sure that it's a positive environment for you. You might not like how the management is there. You might not like certain things, you know? We do have a right to be picky because honestly, we should, you know? Like if you're spending at least 40 plus hours at a job place, it's gonna influence you somehow, some way. And if you need money, just take it for money. Fuck it, you know. But you should be looking for something else or a different opportunity. But I think part of taking a job actually kind of worries me too, is just because you know, I still really want to grow refugee hustle, and I've over these last few months, I've nothing has been as motivating as nothing has been as motivating as like having my ass against the wall, and it just feels amazing, man. Oh man, dude, it's so crazy. Yeah, so that's like typically my process, you know. Maybe typical stuff like, I mean, dress well, like fucking print out your resume. But I feel like if you're like if you don't know that stuff, then I mean, it's pretty basic, you know. But yeah, I like to approach things as just like practice as well. Gold, if you're making more money than they give back, you are interviewing them. Yeah, exactly. I think that's like so freaking important. Sometimes we undersell ourselves, you know? Um, I like, for me, if you're a pharmacy manager, or the closer that you can get to dollars, so like always am I, you know, like a lot of time I'm very, I don't know, spiritual, or I don't know, not like very specific, but um with every single claim I have a story about like how I increase. Shut the fuck up! My freaking roommate is like spamming my thing, but like here's the thing, like if um like I'm very specific with my claims, and very specific with like, so if I increase sales by 10%, like I take them through that journey and stuff too. So I'm very specific with my claims and stuff, but that's what my resume does. It's a marketing document at the end of the day. So yeah. What up, Kevin? Says James M. What's up? As for other stuff besides talking about jobs and stuff, oh man, I've just been meeting a lot of cool people too, actually through my email list as well. I've been talking to a few people about marketing. I've been learning a lot, and I feel like this journey is really great, dude. I've been getting a lot of feedback about my email list and stuff, and you know, one person actually really changed the way I thought, because for me, I always want to get better and better and better and tweak certain things, right? But sometimes like my email subscriber, I was like, why do you sub to my weekly newsletter, you know? Because I always like to get feedback, and she's like, actually it's good the way it is. I'm like, just like, oh shit, that's very interesting, like tell me more, explain more. And sometimes like, dude, like it's okay, like you don't have to change every little thing, or change everything for, like, you don't have to work every little thing. And I think like for me, like I definitely realized that through like things like investing, or like going to the gym. It's just like, imagine if you're doing a routine, right, or a program, but you're changing your routine, like, or your program every single time you go in the gym. You never know if things are getting better or not. And I think for me, uh an important thing is actually like patience. And I don't know if you guys watch like Gary Vee at all, but I was actually watching his advice for young 25-year-olds, and it was about like this girl. She just graduated from college, right? Just graduated from college with a master's in marketing, and she's like sitting in front of Gary Vee, and she's telling him like, I just never feel like it's enough. I feel like I'm in a constant race trying to find what I want to do. And Gary was like, yo, you know, you're working hard enough. You just need to have patience, you know? Patience is key. And if you're no sense of beating yourself up in the short term when you're playing for the long term, right? So that's something that Gary would say. Anyways, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. Anyways, so I actually commented on that video, and it's actually trending right now, like on his page. I was like, this is pretty kick ass, you know? So many people feel the same way. I said something like on the lines of, no lie, like I'm 30 years old. I feel like I'm going through the same shit as this girl. But sometimes I just feel like my back is against the wall, but I have to realize that, you know, I'm playing a long-term game. It's all about patience. And that's when I came upon this like epiphany, or like this thought that, yeah, like sometimes we're just gonna suck at certain things, right? But if you keep on playing long enough, or if you do enough reps, you know, whether that's a sport, maybe like maybe like going to the gym, you know, and trying to hit a 500-pound deadlift, whether that's starting a business, or whether it's through school, you know, like maybe you're not doing too hot in school. And the thought of like, okay, you know, like I have to, like, life is a series of wins, eating shit, and adapting. And it's just going through those constant cycles over and over and over again. And with each time you get closer to your goal. And I found that really inspiring, because like when you're in like not a shitty situation, but when you're like in the trenches, then it gives you some sort of hope that everything is not just going to shit, you know? Everything, your hard work isn't just going for nothing, you know? I think that's a big fear, you know? I think it's a big fear knowing that I think it's a big fear knowing that it's a big fear knowing that what you might be doing might not like pay off in the end and stuff like that. So I think I'm scared of that. And I think that's like one of the reasons why like people jump into school, like pharmacy, or jump in for a degree, is just because that it's just because that shit, dude, this is so distracting. I feel like I get text messages all the time, and it keeps on popping up. It's so annoying. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I can't remember what I was talking about. But anyways, yeah, guys. So that's what some of my life was. And yeah, dude, so crazy. And if you guys like that, so you see this poster back here? I actually have another one, but I can't keep it mounted on the wall. But this is my setup back here. Like, I have my books over here. Knowledge, baby. Knowledge. And then I have my computer. No lie, I was just actually napping not too long ago. So, yeah, but I just thought it'd be really cool just to switch things up, because I actually do like a professional, well, not professional, but like I usually just shoot like off my pro camera. And so, you know what, today I just didn't feel like taking out my laptop and doing everything as well. Oh, cool fact this week. I know I've been talking a lot and a lot, but cool fact this week, I actually have been doing like a lot of jujitsu, and let's see, jujitsu and weightlifting too. So every single morning, I'll wake up at like 4:30. I'll like work out. I'll like do a yoga flow and shit, just to warm up my body. Do some powerlifting exercises, and then do jujitsu. And honestly, that thing, like doing those sort of things, like has like picked up my mood immensely. It's so crazy. I feel like in the morning I'm just like hyped up on life, and it feels freaking amazing, man. Um, let's see. Dude, I feel like it's nonstop talking as well. Um, anyways, like, what else do I want to talk about today? I feel like right now I'm just like in a fog almost, just because one, I just kind of woke up from a nap. Too much Korean barbecue. Um, but also like some other things that are on my mind too. Some other things that are on my mind as well is yeah, I dude, I'm having like a huge brain fart right now. Yeah, dude. Wow, this rarely happens. Oh my god. Anyways, yesterday I also oh, you know what's pretty funny too? That's me online dating. Says Fu Ang Kang. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people too. Also they um they feel this way when the cycles I was talking about, like big wins, eating shit, and then adapting. I feel like a lot of people go through that shit like when they're online dating as well. Like that's kind of like where I got the idea, because I started meeting a lot of people who are really burnt out from online dating. It's like crazy. Like there's a lot of people that just it's just like it's a lot of work. And I was even talking to someone earlier today, and they were saying like online date I was like talking to them about online dating, and I feel like a lot of it is just like it's hard to get immediate feedback. So like if you text someone, you're not in their presence, you don't know if they're really feeling you, if you're just another, like, I don't know, someone that's sliding in their DMs and shit. But like when you like do direct approaches, or when you like approach people in real life, you automatically know whether they're into you or not, at least in that moment, right? And it's it's tough. Like you just don't get feedback the same way. And I think going through that constant burnout of like how my roommate says like, hey, which girl's gonna pay for which girl is gonna get a free dinner for me? Like it's like when you go through that constantly, it's just like really exhausting. But I think that's a part of adapting. Like let's say if online dating is not working for you, maybe it's time to switch to something else, man, and try something else. You know, I think one great place, actually, one place I really like talking to people is actually coffee shops. I've mentioned this several times, but uh like honestly, like I think pointing out, like I think when you approach people in real life, you always have something in common, whether you're there for like at a coffee shop just to do work, or you see a book. You always have something in common, even like location wise. Like they're there at that place for some sort of thing, and that's how you kind of build trust, and like trust, or like not trust, but uh like sort of connection with someone. Because I think to have someone, whether you have any argument, or like if you're talking to someone, you can always connect with someone through through talking about like similar topics and stuff like that, or things that you agree with. The dating market, it can be easy for the top 1%. For 99% is tiring. Yeah, dude, I can't even imagine. I just feel like it's kind of like a waste of resources. Pretty funny. I'm actually going to be doing a video with a resident about online dating very soon. It's so funny. I was doing not a reality versus expectation, but I was doing like a podcast. Like I haven't interviewed anyone in a while, but I was doing a podcast with a resident. She does her residency in New York, and suddenly during the podcast, she's telling me about her dating life, how it sucked, and I was like, "Oh shit, that'd be a great idea to. That's a great idea for another video." So we're actually collabing and doing another video like that. So I'm excited to do. Like I'm excited to do something like that. Just because I can show you like the behind the scenes, what's like to date as a pharmacy resident and stuff, and just get a girl's perspective. Maybe I'll do one for guys too. um it can be such a waste of time talking about that building for an uncertain outcome. But if you think about it in life too, like nothing in life is very certain either, you know? And it's just like if we think about it as like if we're so goal oriented, like think about it as like, hey, I'm trying to talk to this girl so I can slide in, you know? Uh I think I think like when we don't hit that goal, we feel like it's useless, but I feel like no, it's quite the opposite because every single time you approach, every single time you fail, um you get a certain experience and you're getting more and more experience with each way. So it's like building on top of each other. You know, it's hard though. Like I know what rejection feels like. It's very uncomfortable. Like I think rejection is one of those things that really, really sucks. You know, no one likes it. But as long as we can reframe it, like we're building something up, we're getting better each time. That's the best. That's all you can really ask for, man. Sam says, "Hi, Kevin. What's up?" James asks, "If you got to start over, would you do pharmacy again?" You know, it's funny. I hear that a lot, and I think pharmacy's always gotten me to this. Has I think pharmacy has been good to me for the most part. You know, like yeah, everything happened, and I guess like pharmacy's always been really good to me. I've had such cool ass people in my life that I met through pharmacy. The whole reason why I'm in California is because oh shit. The whole reason why I'm in California is because I took a pharmacy job. So yeah, I mean yeah, I don't regret it at all. I would probably do it again, even though it's been a long, brutal journey and it's not something I want to stay in forever. But if you think about it, people don't really understand too when I tell them, like, I've been in retail pharmacy since 2006. I worked as a technician forever. And these last, I don't know, it's 2018. I graduated in 2013. These last 5 years, I've been working as a pharmacist. I've been working 12, almost 12 years in like a community setting, and I just feel like there's something. I just want something different, and I think I have every right to want something different. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know, to just expand beyond just pharmacy, you know. Um, I didn't. It didn't really hit me until the other day, and I was adding up all the years that I've been doing pharmacy. I was just thinking about my career as a pharmacist, and uh, maybe it's just like boredom, you know, like it's boredom. Like you learn certain things, you apply certain things, but if you're not learning, I just feel like you're dying, you know, and it's important to always like challenge yourself like that as well. Uh, you know how the corporate chain works. Someone is always reporting to next person above. Online is another chain of people want to chase that next person up. Asian guys are usually looked down on dating sites. We should push for alpha Asian male stereotypes. I see a lot of Fu and Kang says, I see a lot of white guys getting in on the Asian girl action, lol. Brandon, what up, Chino? How are you today? Mada okay. Sam says, I left pharmacy and just getting to know myself and the things I like to do. Yeah, man. It's the exploratory phase. Yeah, I have to agree. Okay, so here's one thing I do agree a lot. A lot of the time, Asian men, um, I just feel like we're just not desired and shit. But that's like if you step into California, like I think that's bullshit. I see Asian men with different chicks all the time. Like one of my patients, he takes care of himself. He goes to the gym. He is always clean shaven. I've never seen him not clean shaven. He's very alpha. He's very like he's with like a lot of different girls, and I don't think like I think yeah the media paints us really shittily, but I feel like we can't just let that excuse be a crutch, you know. We have to do everything in our power to just really be alpha in our own way, you know, and really, you know, it sucks that we have this perception, you know, but you know, the more we try to break out that mold, the better, you know. Um, and I know what it's like too to be an Asian guy and to see like an Asian girl dating a white guy. And I know for a lot of Asian men, not you guys per se, like I don't think the people watching this channel feel so strongly about this, but a lot of guys, there's a lot of Asian men that feel really, really hurt by that, man. Just because it makes them feel like everybody's like telling them, so like the community is kind of like telling them that, you know, you're inferior, you're not desired. Asian men, no one wants Asian men. But I get that, dude. But I feel like it's important not to let certain stereotypes get in the way. I've never really thought like I was inferior to get like a white girl or anything like that. Dude, those are just like, I think that's mudda bullshit, mudda people. So yeah. Um let's see. Arxman says, I'm in Ohio, by the way. That's probably why, lol. How was Magic City? Magic City, man, that was a long time ago. Magic City was heaven on earth. No, it was I like Magic City just because like it's a really cool experience. It's like, yo, if you are going, like, it's like Disneyland for like rappers and shit, you know, like you see people fucking twerking from the ceiling, and like, yo, you see people like throwing out dollars and shit. I just think it was a very interesting experience, and I loved it. But I'm not really a magic, like I don't really like strip clubs like that. Like for real, like I just, there's something about strip clubs that is kind of grimy, man, that I never really liked. But yeah, when you're in Atlanta, you gotta check it out. So I would recommend it. It's like $20 to get in. It's kind of expensive, but if you're there on a Monday, Magic City Monday, baby. Parker Lindsay says, "Hey Kevin, you've given me so much motivation over the last past year. Just want to thank you for, sorry, I can't read it. Affirming my pharmacy decision, second year undergrad. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Let me ask you, Parker, what has helped you the most on my channel? And, like, what has been most memorable for you? I see you're back in LA. That's great, bro. I know you've gone through so much at once in a short amount of time, but it's good to see that you're here making it through. That's inspiration. Best. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Like, you know what's so crazy? I actually started compiling a bunch of like my thank you screenshots. So things like that you send me, I always keep, you know, because it actually helps me a lot when I'm going through really difficult times. And remember that, like, hey, don't be too hard on yourself sometimes, because you are, like, I am doing what I love. I'm doing my dream. I'm like helping people, you know. Um and I think like I think, yeah, it has been really hard, but I would have to say, like, after everything that has happened in my life in the last few months, like, this has been one hell of a journey, and it's been pushing me and making me a better person, and really forced me to do things that I really love, you know? Um, I've, it's so crazy. I actually finished my product script a few months ago. I wouldn't have been able to say like, hey, when people were asking when's your product coming out, I wouldn't be able to give them a strong answer, because I just never found time. But when sometimes, like, as hippie as it sounds, sometimes when bad shit happens to you, it's a blessing in disguise, but it's hard to accept at the time, you know? Um but you just try and make the most of it, and you try to take every opportunity, every shit hand you get in life, like my father passing, me losing my job and stuff, like, use that, turn it into motivation, and really try to like turn it upside down and make it make make you stronger and make it into something that you'll look back and just be like, oh man, that was like a blessing in disguise. We have that ability every single day, you know. um I think like nothing has ever gave me the most, like nothing has given me the most kick in the ass, kick in my ass for other blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm slipping out my words. Nothing's given me more of a kick in the ass than my father passing, because I just realized like how short life is and how important it is to do things that you really love. You know, as corny as that sounds, it sounds hella corny. Like everybody says, do what you love, but until you go through a loss or until you see an end of a life, then you realize that, hey, you know, all this corporate shit, it doesn't matter. All this like corporate shit, job shit, you know, there's so many things that don't matter. And when you're coming near the end of your life, you just want to do more of the things that you love. So that's why recently I've been focusing more on like my product, my business, learning from my business, implementing my business, doing jujitsu, going on hikes, taking a nap in the middle of the day. I really embrace all that shit because I know one day it might not be there, you know? I might not have that opportunity. You just never know. And I think part of it is just like being present and appreciative of everything. So yeah. Uh your academic testimonials. Parker says, your academic testimonials have been the most helpful. Hearing about your success regardless of how you did GPA wise. Funny, before I discovered your channel, I had a 3.4 overall in freshman year and 3.9 now. That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm glad that I was able to inspire you with my story, man. Pursuing a pharmacy career, where should I go for undergrad? As a freshman, got into UC Irvine, UC San Diego, and Santa Barbara. Just go wherever you want, man. I don't think like where that's like a huge like decision. You know, if you're asking me community college versus like a regular 4 year, I would tell you like I don't think that's like, I think all those are great schools. My friend went to UC Irvine, she got in. I know a whole bunch of UC SD people who also got into farm school, dude. And so it doesn't matter. You know, that's just the way you get there. It's kind of like, how do you want to go to a coffee shop? Do you want to freaking take a Uber? Do you want to drive? Do you want to walk? Or do you want to take a rocket ship or take a SpaceX rocket ship or something like that? Sometimes a blessing in disguise comes from wisdom. Oh shit. Sometimes when I lost my grandpa, who I was really close with, I realized how short of time we have, and it's important to make the best. Yeah, nothing in life is ever guaranteed. I just feel like spending your time around like, I know like for sure like I only have so many years with my mom. I only have so many lunches. I only have so many things. And I think it's kind of like I feel very entitled once I start taking that for granted, you know? And that's what I was realizing. I was taking my youth for granted. Like I'm a hustler right now. I'm like pretty young. I have tons of energy. But is that always going to be the case? Like that's all dependent on how healthy I am, you know? And so I'm just like, oh shit, you know, like there might be a day where I'm not so healthy. There might be a day when it's a lot harder, you know? And just to take like I just don't want to take my health or anything for granted anymore. Brandon says, appreciate and keep close with those that inspire you. Getting a good GPA didn't really matter. Getting that interview for a job a decade ago didn't really matter. Waking up each day at a certain rule and living by employers' rules didn't matter now. It's so true. I think getting plugged out of the system was like the best sort of thing ever in my life, you know, because it was a very realizing moment for me, and it made me ask a lot of questions like, what do I want? And there is no devotion. Like, like sure, like there's certain individuals in corporate companies that might be really good to you or really bad to you or whatever. But at the end of the day, big corporations aren't people, you know? And I realize that, you know, they're not, dude, if they have to terminate you, they're gonna terminate you, you know? But you just have to do what's really good for yourself and build yourself and use those resources too, you know? Uh, it was all just a big wild goose chase that didn't matter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once you have a PharmD, it doesn't matter where you went to school. That's true, man. It's like playing a video game. Mario Stage 1, people asking, should I have jumped on that Goomba? By the time you get to Bowser, all those mushrooms, flowers were optional. It did not matter. That's a great example, man. I like that. I'm going to keep that. I think that's very wise. A lot of people get a 9 to 5 because they like the security of a job. They like knowing that as long as they listen to their boss, they will get a paycheck. Others invest in themselves and become a boss. And I think that's so important because I think that's a huge reason why a lot of pharmacy people people go into pharmacy. Am I telling people like never to do pharmacy? No, it's afforded me a really great life. But I'm just saying like you can't always expect it will be there. And I think it's okay to realize that. I think it's okay to be like not happy with your current pharmacy job. I don't think it's healthy to paint like hey, everything is great in the pharmacy world when it really isn't, you know? Pharmacy has, I'll tell you some things that are great about pharmacy other than people. Your Highness, what's up? I love that energy, man. Um, Pharmacy has afforded me all these books. Pharmacy has also, has afforded me this light. It's afforded me this camera. These are assets that I actually invest back into myself, you know? That's just one way. And like, invest it, like, I've also like used pharmacy to invest like money wise too. I think um I use pharmacy to pay for certain, to like allow me to have certain experiences in life, you know? So like I can talk about, hey, you know, there was a time when I invested as a straight out of school and this is what I did. I maxed out my Roth IRA, blah blah blah, you know? Um Pharmacy allowed me to go visit my dad too, you know? Like if I didn't have any money, I mean, there's cases where sometimes you just don't have money and shit too. Like uh but if I didn't have any money, I couldn't have visited my dad, you know? And pharmacies always helped me with that. Pharmacies afforded me a lot of stability, but like anything in life, like you said, whether you want to, like, I think when you're looking long term, um, you know, it's just another step, you know, it's um, like you just said, it's just like, it's another step to get to the final boss or whatever the final boss is. That's what you want, you know? So I don't know. Pretty shitty analogy. My brain's kind of like fried right now. Yeah. But yeah, man, I feel like that's sometimes like like a lot of the questions that I get are very similar, you know? They're like, should I do this or do that, you know? And if you look at the long term, like, effect on things, it's not like a huge deal. On average, how long do you think it'll take to pay off pharmacy school loans, assuming they're around 150K? Oh, dude, really, it really depends, you know, how fast or aggressively you want to take it. Like at a normal job, if you're doing like, I don't know, making 130, 150,000, I think and you're really gung ho. Like I know people that really like they paid it off within 2 years. Some other people paid it off in like 4 or 5 years. For me, I'm still paying off my loans, but I have I'm still paying it off, but I have a, what's that called? I can't think. I've been investing instead, you know? So that interest, like, I think I broke the break even mark at like 4 years. So it depends, but those people that did it in like 2 years or like whatever. I don't know the exact amount. It was really quick. One of my friends, he's like an overachiever. Took multiple jobs. He was working overtime, but that's not always the most tax efficient way too. So personally, I would probably want like when I first came out of pharmacy school, I always thought about taking a second job and stuff and just working like that. But I think like the whole refugee hustle thing and the whole entrepreneur thing, that was like more I don't know, like it like freaking shouted my name and I just had to pull the trigger on that. I want to build assets for myself rather than just work for someone else and just cash out really quick. Because at a certain level, like you have everything that you want. Like, what's the point of extra cash and shit? Hold on, let me move this a little bit. No, it should go other way. Oh no, this dead cat's in the way. Fuck. Oh my god. This is like one of the cons of using your phone, man. Holy shit. Maybe I'll just hold on. There we go. I'll just take it off. Perfect. Kevin, what is your business about? It's a refugee hustle, dude. I've always wanted to grow it out. So I've always had this dream of refugee hustle. And there's a few things that I'm like currently planning. I'm still working out. But I've always wanted refugee hustle to be like the best, like the most realist personal development company. So what I want is I want to create courses, different courses on mindset and other things like that, investing, all that sort of stuff. And fun fact, I'm actually in the middle of creating merch. So my idea for Refugee Hustle is to help refugees and other people who are hustling together, like around the world. And when I do offer merch, like 25% is going to go to different charity organizations and stuff. So that's the dream. That's the kind of the rough outline of that. But I'm really focusing on my investment course first and going from there. So I think investing was one of those things that really changed my life. Like having control over my finances was like the number one thing. And changes the way that you look at yourself. And I've always been about like hustling together and living a rich life together. And I just thought it was really cool to try to figure out a way to make everything come full circle. About to write the PCAT this year. You can always be a boss in any situation, says James. You can work for someone, or you can open up an independent pharmacy or mobile pharmacy, cheaper startup, and you get your drugs much cheaper compared to consumer. Andrew says, "Hi, Kevin. Andrew, I feel like you're in all my like social media, man. Awesome. I think like you've been catching my morning streams too. Deliver them or have others deliver per diem other pharmacists since market is saturated already. Sorry about what happened to you in the past few months. Hey, shit happens, man. Everybody goes through stuff, and I'm not like obviously I didn't wish death on my dad or anything like that, but you know, shit in life just happens, and you just gotta make the most of it. So, thank you, man. I appreciate it. But it's really been pushing me to be a better man, a more masculine man, and really stop running away from what I was always like pretty much destined to do, honestly. And I believe this is my calling, and I don't know, like I close my eyes and I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting closer, dude. I'm getting closer to being that entrepreneur, baby. Startup pharmacies were being pressed down from insurance provider preference or something like that. Something about CVS and their drug coverage plans disadvantaging small startup pharmacies. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear Walmart is actually in talks of acquiring Humana? So that was very interesting in pharmacy news. But yeah. Yeah, man, I like personally I want to interview my friend Jenny actually really soon and talk about updates to a pharmacy and shit, and seeing what it's like to do a independent pharmacy. That grind is very hard too. I don't think it's an easy grind. And I see how much she goes through. She has a lot of support. She knows a lot of doctors. Done she's done a lot, but it's like taking a while to like it takes a while for you to hit the break even mark. It's like any asset, but I'm like just very grateful. Like I'm really proud of Jenny because she always wanted to do it, and that was her dream, and she just like fucking YOLO, let's do it. So my ventures are going to be a lot not as like big as opening up a pharmacy, but it's still scary. I think like in this digital marketing world, that's where my calling is. And like I think where I'm really good at is that I have a personality where I actually really do care about people, and I hope that always comes off of my videos. Like I've always been really big on like caring about people. And I think like compared to a lot of other digital marketers and stuff like that, I'm like actually authentic. And I think that's always been like my driving force. Like I see it when I leave comments for Gary Vee and stuff. I see it when I reply to my fans and stuff. Like I don't have a big dick. I don't have a big dick like following. But I know if I work hard and I start thinking about how do I grow my following, how do I free myself from how do I do certain things? I keep on asking those questions and keep on trying. I'm gonna get there. I have no doubt in my body that as long as you do keep on doing reps, that's what makes you better. That's what, like you just have to, it's a little bit of luck, but through doing reps, you increase the chance of success, dude, every single time, as corny as that sounds. I love watching Jenny. Geeky, cute, and self-dependent. Yeah, she's actually really dope. I don't know if she wants me to tell you this, but let's say this. When she was trying to when she was like her first year, like when I first met her, she was like an intern and stuff. She was having a lot of trouble. And, it's really rewarding seeing someone who was struggling so much, like moving to a new state, trying to study for her boards and stuff. Like things didn't go the way that she wanted to, but seeing now, looking back, she's so damn successful. She's been a supervisor. She's so damn young. She's done a lot of cool things, and she's a really great person. And it's hard to find people like that. And like me and Jenny, we just always really clicked. We just have that personality where I think we've always been motivated and real recognize real. Like you see people that are like yourself. Um, and yeah, man, that's why me and Jenny, we just like really connected. Independent pharmacy has become very attractive to me. I would like to open one up along the Texas Mexican border. Shortage of pharmacists here. I feel a calling is pulling me to open for people on both sides of the river. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, man. I think insurance is like a pain in the ass right now for reimbursement. But if you can find a successful business model or some sort of revenue stream, like dude, that's an awesome dream, man. And I think like one thing I've seen on the rise is actually MTM services, not like through insurance, but cash. And people are willing to pay for it, surprisingly. Like I see prices from anywhere from $200 to $300 for MTM claims and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that really beats out dispensing fees and shit. Like with one cash MTM claim, you're doing so much more than just like filling all these prescriptions. Random question, but how do you end up collaborating with Broke the Habit? Oh, that's an awesome question. So Broke the Habit, I knew him when I actually had a bigger following than him, maybe. Um, maybe, or I don't remember, but maybe like it was something like that. But yeah, I remember like I commented on one of his videos, and then he's like, yeah, I know you live with Joe and shit. And that's how everything started. And that's a good question. I don't even remember how we first met, but I just remember we connected on so many things because I really admire Peter for his refugee hustle, dude. Like he is an example of refugee of refugee hustle. I mean, he is not rich. He doesn't have fancy camera equipment, but he worked all these jobs, cooking, cutting, and like cooking as a chef and stuff like that. Um, and he really built up this cool skill as like a filmmaker. Yeah, he says he's not really good, but people like me, I think his work is amazing, and he's really created this really cool following for himself. You know, I'm really proud of Peter, honestly. I think Peter, like me and Peter, we only met up recently, like in person, but we used to Skype. We were trying to do a collab with Hobo Alley and stuff, and that totally did not happen, dude. We fucking got, well, we're in the talks of it, and then Hobo Alley just like ghosted on us, you know. I actually left a comment on her video recently. It's also trending right now, which is pretty dope. But like with yeah, we are trying to do a collab with Hobo Alley, just didn't work out, and then we were like, hey, let's do a collab with us, and I was like, okay. Um, at the time, I didn't really understand like metadata and stuff, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, we go through the same like problems too. Like me and Peter, as small creators, like on YouTube, like we always struggle with the views and stuff. I think Peter is actually a lot better at video SEO than I am. I'm like really bad, you know. Um, like I'm just not very good at it, and I think that's also another thing I'm realizing too is like, okay, rather than doing everything myself, I think if I were to go back to pharmacy, I would hire a specialist or someone to help me with all these sorts of things, you know? I think that's so damn important, you know? And really trusting in someone else and try to get a circle of experts and stuff, you know? But yeah. Uh, people keep Josh, Josh, Joshan Dylan says, people keep on trying to tell me not to do pharmacy because of saturation. However, it's my passion. I will be starting pharmacy school in the fall. How hard will it be for me to get a full-time job in California? Well, well, will interning in school help? Well, dude, here's the thing. You can be like worried about saturation. People will whine and bitch just like the YouTube demonetization right now, like on YouTube, where a lot of YouTube creators aren't getting paid like through AdSense anymore. But if you think about it, YouTube is like giving like free bandwidth, they're giving free like a lot of free things out, and you're not entitled to anything. So just like your situation, let me bring it back to pharmacy. No one is entitled to a job after you are graduating and stuff. But there are ways that you can um, kind of lessen that chance, and I think it's like a lot of it is basically who you know. Um, it's like who you know. Start getting idea of where you want to be. A lot of students don't ever think about like where they want to be after graduation, and they don't take the steps to really talk to a lot of the pharmacists, a lot of the DMs and stuff if you want to do community, you know, or or like or like even think about different hospital or residency programs if you want to do that, you know. So really taking initiative to plan ahead, I think, is like huge, and that's something that I didn't do that very well because I had a chance to do residency, but I just never pulled the trigger, and I just never did it. That was my path. Your path might be very different, but I think interning, um, I think having various experiences never hurts. You know, uh, I think that like if you have a really cool internship or something like that, I see cool ones all the time. I see Cover My Meds offer one. For y'all that don't know, that's like a PA prior authorization thing. Like I would even sign up for like job boards and stuff just to see what kind of cool pharmacy intern positions there are. You know, it's really cool. Like if you can get one with like if you want to do PHS and stuff, you can sign a contract and do that. You know, and be a PHS officer and stuff like that, and do interesting stuff like that. Or you can like work with different tech startups too. Like there's a lot of pharmacy tech startup things. You know, but I think what I would have done differently is actually get a unique internship rather than just staying what was comfortable. You know, CBS was so damn comfortable for me. And I think that's like sort of, I don't want to say a regret, but something I wished I would have explored a little more. Um, your videos on pharmacy are really interesting to watch. They really help when I'm pursuing pharmacy. I'm going to college in fall semester. Any tips? Um, Dude, just really, I would say just talk to a lot of pharmacists and talk to people. I know I say that a lot, but I think taking the initiative to talk to people is probably the one of the most important assets. You know, I get to do that through my podcast, fortunately. You know, like I just do that and I just talk to different pharmacists, and it's a way for me to network for people. It's really kick ass, like, because I get to do two things. I just get to, I mean, everybody wants to take you coffee and shit, but to really like feature someone on a podcast and stuff, it's just like very unique, and I get to meet all sorts of cool, interesting people, and I get to kind of pull that interesting story out of people. I never looked at into salary as a bilingual pharmacist. That never really crossed my mind. I just want to be able to cater to both demographics freely in pharmacy as I do as a tech. I guess that's how you know this is for you. When money isn't the first thing on your mind. That's the truth, Brandon. Honestly, you are in a really, you got it right. I think one of the reasons why I think I think I fucked up with pharmacy is that I put money first. I put money and security first when you should really be putting whether you're gonna do this in the long term, right? Um, like money, like if you're exchanging money for doing something that you hate every single day, that's not sustainable. That you're not playing a long term game, right? People become great choosing something that they feel very passionate about. For me, I feel very passionate about like business, and I feel very passionate about Refugee Hustle. Is it the business that's gonna free me from everything? Probably not. I don't know. It could be like there's I just have to find a way, right? But how I know I'm very passionate about this and what I do like through YouTube and stuff is that I have never done it for the money ever. You know, like I don't get paid that much through like AdSense. I don't sell merch right now. I don't do a lot of things. I don't do a lot of brand deals. But through these last 4 years, like coming in and out, like I have to say, for me, like there's nothing better than really connecting to people and really trying my best to help people, you know? And so there's good like I think you're totally right, Brandon. It's just like you know you love something when money is not the first thing on your mind. That's great advice, man. I want to screenshot that. I'm like screenshotting so much. Money baited. I was security baited back then. Yeah. Yeah, security and money, man. That will yeah, and what's his name? Shadow if you can. Shadowing is a great idea too. And I think in I forget which interview, one of my Refugee Hustle podcasts, I was talking to someone and they were saying that they got to shadow someone. So great idea. Like you can even do cold calls where you go on LinkedIn and message everyone that you can. Um, do I need to build connections to shadow someone? Of course, no one is going to let you just come in their pharmacy. It's all about connections. If you don't know someone, chances are you can always get vetted by someone else. So like let's say if like start off with your friends. Hey guys, does anyone know that works in pediatrics? I'm really interested in pediatric pharmacy. If you can let me know, that'd be great. Okay, maybe you have one or two friends. They introduce you to a pediatric pharmacist. Take them out to lunch or take them out to coffee and just be like, hey, I just want to pick your brain for like an afternoon. Do you mind answering a few of my questions? You know, and maybe they give you advice and they ask you, um, and then you're like, oh, thank you. And at the end of the before you take off, you ask them, hey, what would you do? Like, what if you're in my shoes? What else would you do? And then also ask, Do you know anyone, like anyone else that you think I should be talking to? They might send you an intro, like they might send you a intro email that you can craft yourself and just be like, hey, I'll take care of the intro email for you, and just take care. Then you circle back and tell them how that advice changed your life if it did, you know. And you just do that over and over and over again. That's networking, man. um in a sense, it doesn't always have to be that transactional, but in a professional sense, that's how you do it. It's really easy. You use gratitude, you use all those things that I talk about in my videos in a practical way. You know, my biggest fear in school is how coming out unemployed, but now I'm proudly unemployed. Yeah, man, I'm proudly unemployed too, because this has been a kick in the ass, like, sort of journey, man. And being uncomfortable is the way to go. Like, no lie, you don't grow being comfortable, and that was the biggest mistake I made within the last few years. I got too freaking comfortable. I just went around my town and asked. CVS/Walgreens wouldn't let me. The private owned pharmacies allowed me to. Of course, yeah, because they're not gonna. It's too much liability for a public company to do it. Maybe I'll do a video on like networking and what I think and stuff like that. But yeah. And worst case scenario, like, I always reach out through LinkedIn or through Google stalking someone's email, and I invite them out to that sort of stuff too, and just tell them that I'm an intern, just really curious about the industry. Then if they like you, they'll hook you up with other pharmacists they know, and it keeps it going from there. Exactly. Yeah, man. So that's the circle of life. Thank you guys for giving me some ideas of how to of like content I should be doing. I actually, for y'all that don't know, like, I actually constantly save like different screenshots, because I find, like, when I talk to you guys, like, a lot of your insights are very profound to me, and I get more feedback for myself. Honestly, I feel pharmacists would love new people to mentor and set straight, show some genuine interest besides shadowing, and it shouldn't be a problem at all. You would be that bright part of their shift. That's great. Anyways, guys, I think it's time. It's been about hour 02. I'm gonna get back to my taxes. I gotta figure out this Bitcoin tax and shit. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning on to my stream. For y'all that don't know, I do daily streams on my IG every single morning, usually for about 10 minutes or so. Sometimes it'll run a little longer, but sometimes I just got shit to do. If you haven't already, if you like my content, make sure to subscribe to my email list, refugeehustle.com. Every single week, I send you weekly updates about my life advice, and different things I'm doing. And hopefully it'll help you with your own hustle. And yeah, so subscribe on refugeehustle.com. And if you ever see people are saying like, haha, good luck on your taxes, thanks for the stream, peace, have a good one. And guys, if you ever find one of my pieces of content helpful, share it with someone. You never know how it might change someone's life. Later, Chino, take care. All right, peace, guys. Thank you for the stream. Love you guys. Take care. Bye, Sam. Bye, everyone. Peacicles.